Hi everyone, welcome to section 4.3, which deals with graphing with intercepts. So what are the objectives? So at the end of this section, you will be able to identify x and y intercepts, find them from an equation of a line, and then graph a line using the intercepts. So what's an intercept? And we talked about this a little bit before, but it says here, the points where a line crosses the x and the y axis are called the intercepts of a line. So let's say here, you have here's the plane, the rectangular plane, and then you have some kind of line, whatever, it just goes through here, boom. Okay, so these points here, and here, they're called the intercepts. So this one right here is the x-intercept. Why would you think that is? Because it crosses the x-axis, yeah? So here, this one's called the y-intercept because it crosses you guessed it, the y-axis. Okay, so that's what are the intercepts. Now, the intercepts don't necessarily have to be in this place. They could be a bunch of other places. You can have different lines. You can have one that goes this way. You can have one that goes this way. You see what I mean? You can have one that goes through the origin. So, there's different intercepts, okay? Okay, so let's look at an example. Where do you see these lines? Here's two different equations, linear equations, and where do they cross the x-axis? So this one crosses at, x-intercept is at 3, 0, and then here, the y-intercept, sometimes I'll just write int, okay? That's at 0, 6, okay? So this is the x-intercept. So here, this is the x-intercept here. Notice that it's at 4, 0. And this is the y-intercept. Notice that it's 0, negative 3. Okay, so let's look at two more. Let's see if you can recognize a pattern. Here's another line. It crosses at 5, 0. This is the x-intercept because it crosses the x-axis. Okay. This one here crosses the y-axis. It's the y-intercept, the point being 0, negative 5. Intercept, okay. And this is the graph. This is the equation, x minus y is equal to 5. But if you have y is equal to negative 2x, there's only one intercept, and that's at the origin. Okay, so it only has one intercept. Okay, so you can kind of see the pattern here where if you have an x and a y intercept, that's not the origin. It goes, you have a value for x, but y is 0, right? So y equals 0, that's the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, you have to let y equal 0. To find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0, and that gives you the y-intercept. So it's backwards, right? Y leads us to x, and x leads us to y. Okay, so let's go ahead and use that fact. So let's say here we want to find the x and y intercepts on each graph. So this is nice because we could just do it by just looking in this case because it's already graphed. So here we have 4, 0, so that's the x-intercept. Okay, and then the y-axis, it crosses here at 0, positive 2. Okay, and that's the y-intercept. Not too bad, right? How about this one? You have the intercept here. And it also intercepts right here because it's going to go through. So this one is the x-intercept, 2, 0, x-intercept, right? And then here it's the y-intercept, and it would be 0, negative 6, okay? So they're pretty easy to find on the graph, okay? Let's do a couple more. Here you have your x-intercept and your y-intercept. Your x is 2, 0. Your y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Here's your x-intercept. It's 3, 0. This one is 0, positive 2. Okay, that's your y-intercept. Okay, so what if we want to do this algebraically? So we would find the intercepts here of 2x plus y is equal to 6. To find x-intercept, we let y equals 0, solve for x, and to find the y-intercept, we let x equal 0 and solve for y. So I like to do this. So x is 0, so I'm saying I'm finding the y-intercept. Okay, so that's going to be what? So x is going to equal 0. So that means 2 times 0 plus y is equal to 6. So I'm letting y be y and I'm solving for it. So that cancels out because that's just 0. So we get y is equal to 6. So you have the point 0, 6. So your y-intercept is 0, 6. Okay, so that's the y-intercept. What about the x-intercept? So x-intercept, okay, we let y equal 0. Okay, so for y equals 0, we need to find out what x is. So fine, so 2x plus 0 is equal to 6. We get 2x is equal to 6. Divide by 2, we get x is equal to 3. So we have the point 3, comma 0, and that's your x-intercept. Okay, all right. Let's find a couple more. So let's say here we have x plus 4y is equal to 8. So to find the y-intercept, we let x equal 0. So x equals 0. So that's going to be 0 plus 4y is equal to 8. That means that y is equal to 2 because the 0 doesn't count. So you have 0, comma 2. That's your y-intercept. Your x-intercept means that you let y equal 0. So fine, so then you have x plus 4 times 0 is equal to 8. So x is equal to 8. So your x-intercept is 8, comma 0. Okay, so that's another thing. And so what about this one? So let's find the y-intercept. In other words, we let x equal 0, right? So then that's going to be 3 times 0 minus 4y is equal to 12. So this becomes 0 minus 4y is equal to 12. Divide by negative 4. We get y is equal to negative 3. So your final point is 0, comma negative 3. That's your y-intercept. Now let's find the x-intercept. In other words, we have to let y equal 0. Remember, it's like reverse. So then we have 3x minus 4 times 0 is equal to 12. This is going to become 0. So we get 3x is equal to 12. Divide by 3, we get x is equal to 4. So your x-intercept is going to be 4, comma 0. Okay. All right. So how do you graph if you have the intercepts? Okay. So if you want to graph a linear equation using the intercepts, first you do, you find each intercept. So let x equals 0, solve for y equals 0, solve for x. Then you can pick a random one, and then you plot the 3 points and check that they line up. Okay, so let's say we're doing this. So we're going to let x equals 0 and then solve for y. So then we would get, so x equals 0. That's going to be negative 0 plus 2y is equal to 6. In other words, 2y is equal to 6, y is equal to 3, because I divide both sides by 2 here. So then I get 3, that's 1 point. Then the next point would be y equals 0. So y equals 0. That's going to be negative x plus 2 times 0 is equal to 6. So negative x is equal to 6. Divide by negative 1, we get x is equal to negative 6. So negative 6, 0. Okay, so then let's go ahead and plug in something in between, I guess. How about 3 or even 4? Sure, let's just do 4, I guess. 4 will be, so 4. So if x equals 4, I just chose this arbitrarily. So it could be like on the other side, right? 0, negative 6, 4. So if x equals 4, I get negative 4 plus 2 times y is equal to 6. Add 4 to both sides. You get 2y is equal to 10. And then solve for y, and that's 5. So your value of y is 5 when x is equal to 4. So you have another point, 4, 5. Okay, so 0, 3 is up here, sorry. So here's 0, 3. Okay, that's one intercept. The other one is negative 6, 0. So that's like over here. Okay, and then 4 is 5 up here. So this would be, we'll just go through these 3 things right here. Yep. And that's the line negative x plus 2y is equal to 6. Okay. All right. What if you have something like this where it goes through the origin? Another example, why not? Okay, so here you'll see algebraically, like if x is 0, so if x is equal to 0, we set y is equal to 5 times 0, so then that just means 0. So that's 0, 0. So that means this point is on the graph, the origin. So that's when the point is both x and y intercept. So you're not going to have any more intercepts. So in other words, if you let y equal 0, you're going to get 0 for x and so on and so on. So it's just 1. So now we need to just pick, you can pick 1 on the left. You can pick like negative 1 for x and positive 1. So if x is negative 1, you get y is equal to 5 times negative 1. So that's negative 5. What about if x is positive 1? We get y is equal to 5 times 1. That's just positive 5. So you have here negative 1, negative 5. And then positive 1, positive 5. So you have these 3 points. So you have 0, 0. You have negative 1, negative 5. And you have positive 1, positive 5. So you just basically draw a line through these 3. Sorry, my graph is terrible. Okay, let me erase that. That's like embarrassing. Okay, here we go. So it goes through these 3 here. Okay, sorry, this is through this one. And that's it. That's your line. Okay, so that's it for 4.3. Your exercises are 139 to 203 odd or every other odd. Good luck, happy studying, and I will see you in the next video.